welcome. We are at episode 9 for the driving show here at Philbrick. It's a Thursday, so hope your day is going well. Let me ask you, have you started working out for the day yet? Have you gone out and exercised? I typically don't on Thursdays because recently my mom has had a women's Bible study at our house, and my sister goes to that, and she has 2 little ones, my niece and my nephew, and I watch them during that time. So I go from dog walking to watching an almost 3-year-old and 1.5-year-old for about an hour and a half, to then I go on another show with my friend Bill. He's got a podcast that I'm on at 3, so it's a very tight crunch of time to get everything done. And with having a cold and all, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to go, but I decided I should, because one, most of my head cold is mostly gone, and it's mostly in my nose. And as I mentioned yesterday, swimming, it gets all cleared out, and I breathe so fresh and clean when I swim. So that's kind of gross, but also why they have, why the pool is treated with chemicals and chlorine to make sure that it is clean. But I had some good progress yesterday, which was exciting, and that, as you probably know if you've been tuning in and following along with these, I've been working on setting up this new emailing system in Beehive. And one of the problems that I was having was that when someone joins, I asked a question: are you aspiring or a current business owner? And then all of that's figured out. But if they didn't do anything, I wanted to tell them, like, okay, sorry, you've been kicked off the list, only because if you're trying to build your business and an email list, you want people that are engaged, that are going to read your emails that are there. So it's good practice. And I would say, even if you kick them off, you always have a way for them to come back on. So in the email, it was like, looks like you're not engaged, so we're going to take you off the list. But if you want to join, go ahead and do this. But I couldn't figure out how to get it to re-trigger the automation if they got kicked off. So what I did instead was create a new automation, and you can set triggers. So the trigger for when someone signs up, that is the trigger, is when someone new signs up, trigger this automation, which is like the new welcome to Philbrick. Let us help you, and we'll personalize your journey with us. So what I did was I created another one, and I called it like a welcome back kick out. So if they've been kicked out but they want back, the trigger is once they fill out a certain form, then it will start this new automation. And the new automation is basically just when they've confirmed whether they're aspiring or current, then it sends them the right email. So it actually is pretty simple and much easier than what I was trying to do. So that was exciting. And then in that email where I say they get kicked out, I link the survey. So I'm like, hey, looks like it's not working out. You've been unsubscribed for now, but this was a mistake. If you really do want to stay, go ahead and fill out this form, and then we'll get you on the list and plugged right in. So that is the exciting part, is that Beehive has a lot of cool options like that. And then even a family friend, Chris, he's got his own business, he sent me an email today for one of the newsletters I sent, saying that his email provider, I don't know if he's on Gmail, but it's no longer saying that it looks like a suspicious email, where I guess my previous emails from Flavio, he said, kept getting marked as like, this could be suspicious. So I don't know what is up about that, but all to say, that's why it's also good to have people that are engaged on your email list, because you want people to open your emails and you want them to respond back. So ideally, you're having calls to action in all of your emails. So whether it's, hey, let me know, write back, fill out this form, do something so that the emailing providers will see that people are opening them, they're interacting, they're writing back. Ergo, your business email is not a spam or phishing account. So I think that's kind of the lame thing that I've talked to one of my other friends at church about, of like, when I first started the business here, I signed up through Google Workspace. So I'm paying Google for the email, hello@fisherphilbrick.com. And then I am sending to other emails that are also owned by Google. So Google owns a ton of it. And then Google was still sorting my email as being spam. And I was like, Google, you know that I'm paying you for this email and these people are using your account. So why would you not give some grace when I just started the account and have it go to their inbox. So I don't know, that's just one of those things. If you ever start emailing, it's important to have people write back, and that's why I always put some of my own emails on the email list. So I have a couple different personal ones, because then I write back and I'm like, great job, Michael, good job. I'm like, it looks so cheesy, but all in all, I'd rather have and teach the emailing programs that like, my email is a good one, I'm not going to be spamming people, and then really, I think it's by law, you have to have an unsubscribe link. So if someone really doesn't want to be there, they can very easily unsubscribe. But the idea I had yesterday that I worked on and kind of partly failed at, but the mentor that I have, so I signed up for his email list and for the paid account, which he just raised the price, so I got it at the cheaper one. So that's a good nudge to if you want people to sign up, you're like, this is the last week that it's going to be cheap, then it's going up. And I was like, shoot, I want to get on his list for the paid, like the premium side of it. But he had like 2 or 3 links of like, hey, thanks for joining, glad you're here, here's some really helpful things that can get you started. And they were basically like different workshops or presentations that he's had, and it was just like one of the days. So like one of them was talking about like kind of the email funnel system to get people from social media into your own email list. And so it was a 4-day workshop, but he just shared the first day, which was still super impactful and helpful for me. And so I think the idea also was that if you really liked that first day, he has the recording, so you could purchase that. But when looking at my own email series, I just had links to my website of like, hey, here's a journey to go on if you're a current owner or if you're an aspiring owner. And that is something that I spent a lot of time on when I was first redoing my website this past December and January. But I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't like really happy with it when I was putting it all together, because I knew, and maybe you do this too, like people don't like to read. They don't like to go through a website and spend 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes going through doing like an activity sort of thing. And that's what a lot of what I had was like a journey, which I thought was really cool, because it's almost like a course that you would go through, but it's for free and kind of sends you around, ultimately leading you to the email list to get some of the free resources. But my idea was taking off of what the mentor was doing, was that I was like, I could put all of this in like on a presentation slide and then talk through it, present it as if it was like a class, and just have that as like a super helpful resource for if you join the list and say you choose current. I go through some key things of what I've seen from the 40 plus people I've talked to on the podcast to my own journey and experience as a business owner, and kind of package that up. So instead of saying go to this website and go through this journey, I just need to say, hey, click this link and watch this. You know, I thought it would be maybe half hour, 45 minutes, but I was presenting and recording it in Canva, and I have a free account in Canva. And I was like, whoa, this is so cool. Like it'll put your little face in the bottom corner so they can see you, and then you can present as if you're going through like a PowerPoint, that sort of thing. And I put animation, so like I was really proud of myself because I just threw it together real quick. Kind of the idea being I just put bullet points, and then I knew enough and I know enough about what I was talking about, such as like creating an email list, like for current owners. That's when I went through like, do you have an email list? If not, here's why you should have it. Here's some advice you could do. Do you have a community for your business? If not, same idea within that. So I went through that, and it ended up being 56 minutes long. So wow, you probably know, if you know me, I can talk for a long time, but it was so much fun. But the problem was, once I finished recording it, it was downloading it, and it always says like, this may take a moment or two. And then it just gave an error message, and it says you need to refresh the page. So I refreshed it, and then it lost the whole recording. So it was very sad and frustrating, because it was like one of those ideas where it was kind of last minute, out of the blue, spur of the moment. I put something together pretty quick on, in Canva, making it like a PowerPoint essentially. And then I was recording. I was like, whoa, I already have one finished. Now I just need to do the one for aspiring owners. But it did not work, and it did not come together. And I don't really want to try it again, because it could have just been an error. But if it is going to be in the 45 minute to 50 minutes, because I'll do it faster if I do it again, then I'm like, I'm not going to risk that, because I'm getting over a cold and my throat is still hurting a little bit, so that kind of overdid it. So I'm not going to do it today because I have that podcast call and the YouTube show later this afternoon and evening. But I'm going to revisit it, and I actually got this site called Loom, Loom. That's something that my mentor has used when he'll send me feedback on like a website I've sent him, like, hey, here's a landing page. Do you have any thoughts? Instead of writing everything back, it'll have his face in the bottom corner. He can talk through it, scroll through, and it records your screen. So I'm going to try that out. I got on their free trial, and it said for the free trial that you can do unlimited lengths of video, so yay, and unlimited downloads, like however many. So that's actually really good, because they said in their starter plan, they're like, the starter plan, you get 25 videos at 5 minutes each. And I was like, oh my goodness. Maybe this service is not used for what I'm going to use it for. So I need to try and get everything I need to done in this trial period of 2 weeks. But the cool thing, and what I'll close with, is that this sort of setup is going to be so cool, and I can actually utilize it for the masterclass I'm creating. So I have the video finished, I have the trailer finished, I have a starting landing page. If you are on our email list, if you've joined from the link in the bios, then you'll see I've linked that a couple times, so you can actually get the pre-launch sale of it now. But I need to add the trailer, add some other things to the site, so I haven't publicly come out with it. But the last thing I need to do for that class before I can come out with it is I need to create the activity guide, and within that activity guide, we're going to have on-screen tutorials. So when I'm taking you through, say you're taking the class and you do want to build a business of like, hey, let's make a landing page, add an email form, collect emails, make an email, build a community, all these different things that you're going to do within the class as the activity, kind of like your homework. I'm actually going to do an on-screen tutorial and recording of that, because if you did not know, I'm going to be starting a new business idea within this course for that activity guide. So that's kind of the one thing I'm really excited about, is it's not just me going through like, hypothetically, this is what you would click. I'll be starting a new business, an outdoor adventure one called Explore Outdoors California. Here's how I'm going to create the email. Here's how I'm going to make the landing page in the community. And so it's going to be really cool. And this program Loom is going to be a great asset for that. So I'm excited for all of that. Will you have a certificate? Oh, for the class. So Alessia just asked. So I don't know. My mom actually asked about that too, of like, if you finish the class, if you will get a certificate. I didn't think so initially, but now that you're asking, I should probably look into that and see, because I know certain courses do have that. So that is definitely a good idea that I should be looking into and see. But overall, I'm excited for all of this to come together. It's one of those, like, I was sick and, it was like, oh, I can't get much done this week, to then I had that idea, jumped into it, found this other service that I now realized I can use for the masterclass to push me forward in that way. So it's crazy to see how life can come together, even with, a week that is somewhat unexpected, or if you're not feeling the best. But I wish you all the best rest of your day, and make sure if you haven't gone out and gotten some sunshine and exercise, that you go out and do it. It'll be so worth it in your day. But we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.